Here's another one for you, Vulcan. So, you know, you see this story a lot of times, right? Of like when someone dies or they get old, they want to go back in time, maybe say like the devil let them or something. And let's say he's like, you know, I really wish I could have went and asked that girl out at that party. Okay. And so
Yep.
the devil says, all right, deal. Send you back in time. Would you feel awkward with the brain you have now talking to that girl? Let's say you're like,
Yes.
I don't know, like around 18 or something like that.
Yes. That's like asking me along the same lines of, would you go back in time with all the knowledge you have now and try to fix like a relationship with an ex? Yes, I'd feel fucking weird.
Okay. But do keep in mind that you do have that body of when you were that age.
Yes, but I am a strong believer of everything happens for a reason. I'm not religious. It's just shit happens and you can't change it, right?
Yeah.
So it's just, if I fucked up at a young age, I fucked up at a young age. There's
Oh, go ahead.
there's like no fixing that. Like, as much as I'd want to, of course, but
Well, let's say you like had the power to do it. Like there was a strange entity that allowed you to do it. Go back in time in your body.
I would probably go back in time, but not change anything. Like,
Well, let's say there's like the conditions, because then we're getting into like fucking up the timeline by winning the lottery.
I mean, like, I'm fine with how things turned out. So it's just, I don't know, man.
But let's say it's like a freak accident and you just happen to be back there, kind of like a quantum leap. But there was a story like that. I thought that was very interesting when they tried to like remake the Twilight Zone. Not the newest one. Fuck that one. I think it was like the one in like the 80s or 90s. And a guy did that because he wanted to ask out Miss Popular. And then when he got back there, he was like, you know, it just feels weird, you know, because I've got the mind of a grown-ass man and she just seems too young. She seems like a kid now. But then it got into like some wholesome stuff after that, but
I mean, that's kind of what my issue was. Like, say if we go back, you know, in my case, like about 3 or so years, right? It's like when I first met my ex, where I had a very long relationship with, right? Knowing what I know now, I would probably only act a little bit more confident and assertive. That was the only thing I think I'd change. At the end of the day, things would still probably fall apart because fundamentally we want different things. But I would just go along for the ride, doing what I did before, just being a little more alive and there instead of let me drink and smoke to forget my problems and forget about you sort of thing. Like, disclaimer too, stream, I by no means in any way claim to be a good person. I am a real piece of shit at times.
Yeah, same here.
I don't want to change my past too much. Because like, I've thought about it a lot too. After the engagement broke a year ago, I was like, yeah, you know, I mean, you've been here along for the ride. It's just, it was really, 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 really bad for a while. But in all that, whatever the fuck, including beating Armored Core 6 and not being able to remember how.
Trishan
and like, I don't even know. I literally cannot play the game at all. I forgot all the controls. I never played it sober either.
Here's another one, a bit same kind of thing, but a different angle.
Okay.
Let's say you let's say you got hit by a fucking bus or something and you died. Your body's horribly mangled, beyond repair, and you die instantly. And then you get reincarnated, you know, kind of like in an anime, right? How horrible and difficult do you think still having your mind of being alive in your body right now, how difficult do you think it would be to start dating as like a 13-year-old or like, you know, around that like 13, like 16 range?
Probably incredibly hard because I mean, for fuck's sake, dude. Now my taste in women are either you're my age or you're like between here and 30. So, like, I just kind of, yeah, no. At a young age, that'd be fucked. I'd be going after like the teachers essentially. Like if we're sticking to the same age range, right?
Yeah, you'd be fucking Rob Snyder and Grown Ups. Because I've talked about this manga before. I can't for the life of me remember the name, but it's basically guy gets reincarnated, gets kicked out of his like guild made up of all his childhood friends, and then he proceeds to bang all of their moms and make a guild with them. Fucking hate the story. It is horrible. Guy's got his dick in the hand the entire time. But I will say, the one thing that was actually kind of smart about it was why he liked older women. Because like in that world, because everyone kind of like died really quickly, older women were kind of like so, you know, basic Japan. But he didn't have that mindset because when he died and got reincarnated, he was a grown-ass man. He was married. He had a kid. So when he got there, it's like, yeah, younger women don't do it for me because I still have the mind of like a guy in his mid-30s. I don't want like these young girls. That was the only like smart thing that manga did.
Yeah.
The curse of immortality, folks. We get into the deep topics here. Barring also
Really
eventually
do.
the inevitable heat death of the universe and you're still flying through space, constantly suffocating and freezing. That's always my caveat. If I get immortality, I want a fucking kill switch for whenever I want it. So when the planet blows up, I'm fucked. Maybe I'll eventually like land on a planet I can survive on and not constantly suffocate, which is my greatest fear, by the way, is suffocation. But I feel like by then, by probability, I'd probably be insane by that point.
That oddly reminds me of something I saw earlier. So you know the immortal snail meme, right?
Immortal snail meme.
Where, you know, you become immortal, but there's like a snail slowly approaching you at all times. And if the snail touches you, you immediately die. That's your that's the only thing that can kill you.
It's like it follows. Okay.
Yeah. So with that, I saw a meme earlier, and it was, you know, I gotta see if I can find it. But long story short, it was the person had survived until the heat death of the universe. And they've learned that it's a cycle, that it will all inevitably happen again, one for one, exactly as it did before. And in a poetic sense, they wait for Earth to be remade and for themselves to be born and make the deal with the snail so that they can finally touch the snail and die. Because they destroyed the snail in their original timeline. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely didn't do it justice because it's a lot more than that, but...
I mean, timeline resets are my favorite world-building mechanic. But yeah. Or I shouldn't say timeline resets, just like time goes on for infinite, so how many times have we probably been... How many times has humanity evolved into what we are now? You know?
That's kind of my favorite thing to think about. It's just... Damn. We really evolved from a fucking monkey.
Which came from a fucking fish.
And nothing's really changed.